Hey guys, here's my Weeden number 646 Steamroller mobile live steam engine. This guy was made from 1926 and until 1935. It came into two versions, and I believe this is the version 1, so probably pre-1930s. My brother has one that's the other style, which is likely 1930s. I have the original box right here. You can see that it says engine number 646. This box is about the same as a big giant box that I have that was, I estimate it was built in the 1916 and 1918 or so. I've seen the version 2 steam engine actually have a different type of cardboard box. It has actually stamping on it, like more like a manufacturing process, like a modern box. Anyway, so version 1. So version 1 has the balance wheel across the top here next to this smokestack, which is present. The whistle is in the middle, and then the steam line, and then the pressure valve. On version 2, this has actually brought the bracket, the balance wheel is in the same place, but the bracket's more center, and the screws are further down in the tank. The steam line is in the middle, and then you have the whistle and the pressure valve in this area. Also, this version has kind of like a jacketed, around the tank around here, all the way around. And on the other side, it's going to have a stamping of Weeden, versus on the version 2, it has like sticker, right? So when this guy came to me, it was very dirty. It took quite a bit of cleaning, so my hands would stop coming out black. But it's come out pretty nicely. It has the normal issues with the steamroller to where this is almost always broken off. What Weeden did was put in, like, I think steel screws and sweated them in with a little nut. And these are always broken off. The previous owner did a pretty good job of permanently soldering it to the tank. I haven't seen any indication that it's going to try to come off. Across the top, let's take off this. Across the top, there's a nut here with a screw, and here's a screw with the remnants of the screw, but the nut is gone. So I was getting leaks both here. So I've used some red Loctite on this guy to keep it from moving, and I put a little dab of super glue in here to keep it from leaking. I'm not quite too sure if I'm going to go as far as trying to drill this and put a new screw in there and a nut. I mean, I don't have a lot of room, and taking this off of the tank is not really something I want to do. So it works, so I'll probably just leave it be. It has its original whistle capper. It is missing its wood lever, right? The piston rod here was like bent at 10 degrees, so I had to straighten it up. The pressure valve, you can probably tell it's missing actually the pressure valve part of it. It's just been soldered solid, so no pressure relief, so I have to be careful. Though these things, are, always passing through steam, so I doubt if I ever would blow the tank. But, I got to be minding that. I've removed the sight glass fittings and resealed them. Also the end cap, I've taken this off and cleaned inside and resealed it. Turning it around. The balance wheel was just really moving on its shaft, so I had to get this really cleaned up and put some red Loctite. It seems to be holding. And we have our original chain, which is nice. Let's see if we can get in here and see. There we go. Here's the stamping, which is quite nice. I like this with the Weeden and the trademark. We have our original burner underneath with 3 wicks, and it still had its wicks down there. So that's complete. So other than having a pretty hard life, probably being dropped or something smashed on the side of where the piston's at, it's in pretty darn good shape. So let's see if we can get this thing fired up. All 3 burners are now lit. Now we just need to wait for it to steam up. I have this wooden spoon on the back so I can display it statically. I'll probably do another video where I take it down to the lower parking lot and roll it around. It's not a lot of room in my little apartment I have here in Midtown Atlanta. Oh, another thing that I did is that the steamroller here, it was very floppy, meaning I couldn't put it into a turn condition without it straightening itself out. It has a nut and a screw in here that you would think you can adjust or tighten down. But the way that they manufacture these things, whenever they use the nuts on these, they like smush the top, you know, of the screw, and it just won't. I just can't get it to move. So what I did is I took some nylon string and wrapped it around and put a little dab of super glue to keep the string in. And so that gave a little bit of a, I guess, a force between the bracket, the lower bracket and the upper bracket, so I can turn it and keep it in the same place and not move on its own. As you can see, it runs pretty good. That's very hot. Let's release some steam. Whistle doesn't really whistle. It has a crack on the side. And it also likes to spit water out. Let's see if I can just have one burner on so it's not so spinny. Let's see how that works. So now I just have the middle wick on fire. That might not be enough. Let's do one more. Now we do 2 or 3. Almost. There we go. So my little Loctite and a little dab of solder is doing pretty good. I can still see, you know, a little bit of leakage coming up around this one right here. But for the most part, everywhere else, you know, it's not leaking. You know, I'm not getting any leaks around here. I'm not getting any leaks on around the sight glass. So it's running quite efficiently. Yeah, she sure does like to spit out water. I might have it a little bit overfilled, but not by much. I'm just have one on. Let's see if that's enough to keep it going. Nope. It tries. Let's see if I turn it a little bit. Nope. So this way. It tries. All right. Well, that's my Weeden 646, pre-1930s, pretty sure, style number one. I guess now I need to take it down and see if I can roll it around in the parking lot. All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.